Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. In today's video, we're going to take a look at this beautiful 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport. This is actually a truck, but it drives like an SUV. It feels like a crossover when you're behind the wheel, and it's got a great feel about it. It's got some really cool, quirky features, especially in the bed, tailgate, all that cool stuff. It's got great safety features, and we're gonna take a really close and detailed look at the inside, at the outside, and of course we're gonna end up behind the driver's seat where I'll show you how all the buttons work. Before we begin, I would love to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this really cool 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport. I'll be sure to leave all of Impex Auto Sales contact information in the description box below. The first thing that I want to say about the 2021 Ridgeline is the design. I like this design a whole lot better, especially than the previous generation Ridgeline. You know, the one that had the funky plastic right here. To me, it looks a whole lot better. And as I mentioned in the intro, one of the things that's really nice about this is that it's actually on the Honda Pilot frame, so it actually drives more like an SUV than an actual truck. The only thing about that though is that it does not have necessarily the off-road capabilities of a truck. It's got more of the off-road capabilities of an SUV. But if you're into this segment, most Honda Ridgeline owners aren't necessarily all into the off-road capabilities anyways. They just want to have all-wheel drive capabilities in the event of a little bit of snow or a little bit of mud. Now this Ridgeline that we have here today is a sport model, which means you get a wheel upgrade, you have dark graphite colored wheels, you have black mirrors, you have some cool grille accents that stand out that are actually dark. You also have a sport badge right up here under the Honda emblem on the right side of it. And it generally looks like more of an aggressive truck than the regular Ridgeline. The wheels on this one are really good looking to me. I think the wheels really set this off as part of the sport package. This is actually sitting on Firestone Destination LE2 tires, and these are 245/60 R18, and of course these are all going to be all season tires, so that's a really good looking wheel. I was just checking out the lights, you know, the headlights, fog lights and everything. That's really good there. You can see that the fog light is actually pretty well hidden, and it looks like it's an LED fog light right there. Really, really low. I like how low that is. Frankly, a lot of manufacturers put fog lights on their vehicles, but they don't put them low enough, and that is really low. It's also on the wide portion, on the most outer portion of the front of the Ridgeline, so that makes it the most usable, most functional whenever you are using those in a fog light, needing a fog light situation. Here's actually what I wanted to point out up here. You see that? That's actually a functional air curtain. That's pretty neat. So what happens is air comes in here, it channels it here and out right there. So that makes it a little bit more aerodynamic. I like that you have the big shiny Honda emblem right here, right up front. That's not just for good looks, that's also for function, because that's where some of your safety controls are gonna be, like your radar cruise control and situations like that. You also have a safety function right here. You can see a little triangle all right there. That's gonna be in addition to your all of your driving safety features as well, all packaged right together. Coming around to the rear of the Ridgeline, you can see that you have your nice Ridgeline badge here on the left side. You also have your Sport all-wheel drive badging there on the right side, indicating that this is indeed the Sport. I love the dual exhaust look. You also have your tow hitch and your electric outlet right there for your trailer lights, but that's not what I'm really here for. What I'm really here for is the dual functionality of the rear tailgate. Your tailgate release is right here, right above the Honda emblem. So I can pull that down, and just like a regular truck, it comes right down. So that's pretty average, pretty normal, pretty standard. Written right here on the bumper on the right side, it says release. And you can take it, you can feel under here, and there is another handle, and look at that. That is really, really cool if you're ever in a situation where you need to have the door open this way in order to load and unload items there in the back of the trunk or the truck bed, instead of having it released just like a regular tailgate. To me, if this function right here is more if you have limited room behind the truck, but you're going to use this function here, the side release, if you have more room back behind the truck bed, or you need to put something in or remove something from the truck bed from this right side. That's a really nice design. You can see here that you have a door lock, and then you have a handle here. Well, when you squeeze that and lift it up, it reveals a huge trunk. And this is super functional. You can see your spare tire is going to be right there along with your jack. But also take a look at how deep that well is. And here is one of the coolest things about this well as well. You see in the corner there, you have a drain plug. And it says drain, open and close. So look at that, it goes straight through to the ground. And guess what that means you can use this for? You can use this as a cooler. So you can load ice in there, throw drinks and whatnot in there, and boom, you've got a cooler. I don't know how well it's gonna, like if this, if this goes completely wet and it is only water in there because you have forgotten to drain it, I guess the water could get back up in there in the event that you do some more spirited driving off-road. But for the purpose of this, you can practically use that as a cooler. I guess technically this trunk is big enough for a person to fit into, so you have to have this release right here. And you can see this on all modern cars. It's actually law that that's on there, so that in the event that someone is actually trapped in this trunk, they can get out, and this glows in the dark, they can release themselves. So I guess technically this is big enough to be classified as a trunk in order to necessitate that emergency release switch. Another one of the cool features about this trunk within the truck bed is the fact that I believe this is going to be watertight whenever you close this. So whenever this is closed, it actually is going to serve as a watertight, weatherproof, functional trunk in the event that you have luggage back here, or suitcases or something that you don't want to get nasty and you're on a trip. The reason I say that is because there is this huge piece right here. It's soft and it matches all the whole imprint right here. So you see that there? And this is going to, whenever you close this, they're going to basically seal. And also there are little drain channels all here, holes that are all around the portion on the outside where this does not touch. So that's actually a really nice weatherproof, lockable, safety secure trunk in the bed. Another thing about the bed, look at all the tie downs. You see these T-shaped tie downs here. So you have one on each side, left and right. Then you have another one at the base corner of the front, left and right. Then you have one at the top edge of the bed toward the cabin, left and right. So those trunk tie downs are everywhere. Then you have lighting. This is nice. You have bed lighting right here. You also have bed lighting right here. And then you have a cool little storage area over here on the right side rear, just for additional items. One of the things that I think would benefit the Ridgeline is a shock system integrated into the tailgate, because this one, it just falls down. And that may have in part to do with the fact that this is a dual functioning. It swings this way and it comes down this way. So they may not to be able to integrate that into the truck, the tailgate itself, but that would be nice if that were possible. Coming around to the back door, you can see on the inside of the rear door, it's pretty basic. You can see inside of it here, you actually do have some nice stitching there that's on the interior. Nice little soft touch materials here, hard plastic here, and then a functional cup holder, place maybe for your cell phone here. Power window switch, of course your door lever. Moving right along to the back seat of the Ridgeline, you can see it's pretty much just a basic truck back seat. You do see a little sticker right here that says pull handle. I'll show you that in just a second. But you also see an all-weather mat. This area right here is going to be able to serve as a hugely functional cargo area. And let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so you have your basic back seat. It'll seat 3 people in the back. It's got a cool little contrast stitching right here. And the back seat materials, as well as the front seat materials, of course they match. Nice and rugged, pretty good looking, pretty basic. You have a center armrest here, the little console with a couple of cup holders, a little bit of storage there for you. Not really super functional, but hey, it's there. You also have a rear AC outlet right there, and then a couple of little storage compartments there. I would like to see some type of USB charging area right there, but that's okay. A little bit of a storage area pocket right behind each front seat. But here's what I really wanted to show you about the functionality of the rear seat. You can see down here that you have a channel, and it goes all the way from one side of the floor to the other with some bars that are supporting the bottom side of that rear seat. Well, you have a handle that says pull, so when you pull it, it actually comes up, and then you can see that the bar that was supporting it is now folded into the seat bottom. So you can see here, you have the ability to make this into one huge storage area. When you come over here and you pull this handle, you bring it up, and it locks up into place. Now check out how big that storage area is. This is absolutely perfect if you need to carry items that are not weatherproof, and there you go. And then to convert this area back to a place where you can have rear passengers, you just pull the handle back down, and that is it. Now getting into the Ridgeline back seat is a little bit tight, but that's okay. I mean, it's a truck based on the Honda Pilot chassis, so it's not going to have a tremendous amount of room because you don't have a third row. So it is a smaller back seat. Let me show you what I mean. So my legs are actually touching the seat back, but this is my driving position. I'm over 6 feet, so you know, for most people it might not be this tight, but this is a smaller back seat. This is going to be good for shorter trips. In order to use the Ridgeline, all you have to do is approach the vehicle with this on your person, and you can use the vehicle completely. You can keep this in your pocket or in your purse, and all you have to do is grab the handle, push the push button start on the inside, and also there's a little black button on the door handles of the front doors, and that is going to be used to lock the doors. You can hear the beep. However, if you want to use it manually or use the buttons on the key fob itself, you can see on the top it has lock, below that unlock, below that is hold, and that's for remote start, and then this is for your panic alarm, the second hold button right there. But in order to use it, as I mentioned, all you need to do is have this on your person. You can grab the door handle and just open it right up. Right now we're looking at the inside of the driver's door, and you can see this little bank of buttons right here. The one at the top left is going to be to lock all of the access to the power windows, lock and unlock of the doors, front window power switches, and you can see that these two are full automatic up and down, and then your rear window controls are all right here. The materials on the back door match exactly to the rear doors. A little bit of contrast stitching here, soft touch materials. It's all well put together. And then you also have your fuel door release right there on the inside of the door toward the front. Another bank of buttons that you're going to see pictured here are going to be in front of your left knee while you're sitting in the driver's seat. On the top of that is going to be the controls for your rear view mirrors. So when you push this to the left, that controls the positioning of the driver's side rear view mirror. Push it to the right, passenger side rear view mirror control with that multi-directional keypad here. This is lane keeping. This is collision monitoring or collision mitigation, and then your cargo light for your truck bed, and then your econ mode right here. This pops up a little leaf on the dash there, and it makes it drive in a more fuel efficient manner. Oh, there's another little button here, and that is traction control off. One of the things that I'm actually a little surprised by in a vehicle at this price point, right around $40,000, is the fact that you don't actually have power seats. So these are manual seats right here, and this is going to be for your seat back, and then this is for the seat height adjustment. It operates like on a jack, so you can do this up and down in order to raise and lower the seat. I would actually like to see power seats here. I don't think that that would be a huge add there. Let's take a look at the headlight and turn signal stalk on the Ridgeline. You can see here that you got a little mark here that says off, and this mark is fixed, so it just stays there, and the end of the stalk moves based on the function that you want it to be in. So this is parking lights, this is headlights on automatically, this is headlights on manually, and then right here are your fog light controls. It's really nice. And then as far as your turn signals are concerned, you have a one-touch 3-blink system, so you can just press this once and it lets you change lanes or use the function to change lanes, and you don't have to keep the turn signal fully engaged. Check it out. That's a nice feature, so you don't actually forget and just keep your turn signal on all the time. The stalk we're looking at right now are for your wipers. You can see it has mist, off, intermittent, low and high, and then right here is the control for your intermittent. So one of the things I really like about what Honda does, because this whole intermittent feature, if you don't have this little icon with 3 drops of water and 1 drop of water, it can actually be confusing in a lot of manufacturers, but Honda goes the extra mile and puts 3 drops of water here and 1 here to indicate that whenever you are in intermittent mode, arrow pointing here, you can turn it all the way up, and that's going to make it wipe faster or more often, and this is less often, and this is the least amount of wiping. But if it's like misting outside, that's a perfect function. And then you can see the plus and the minus right here. That's going to control your gauge brightness. Taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see over on the left side you've got a pages icon, multi-directional keypad with source in the very middle. That's going to be audio. You've got another little pages icon here, and then you have telephone, hang up and off hook or on hook, and voice commands over down at the bottom. Over on the right side, you have your cruise control function, also with your radar cruise control, lane mitigation, and then information switch right here on the bottom right with reset and an up and down button. So in using all of these buttons, we're going to take a look at what happens in the center dash on your multi-information display when you use all of these buttons. So over here on the left side, it's actually really basic. This is volume up and down, and this is source left and right. So I can press source and you see that there's nothing on. Well, right now it just cut the radio on and it just disappeared. And I can press left and right, and that's actually going to change my preset stations that I already have memorized. Then volume, as I mentioned here. You can press this pages icon, and right now what just came up is it actually says no phone connected. I'm going to hit it again, and it toggles back and forth between Bluetooth and audio right there. So in order to use your cruise control, you can press main right here, and that actually lets you know that the cruise control is now active. One of the ways I can see that is LKAS and ACC just popped up. You can see when I press that, it comes and goes. But then I have reset, or resume and set. So this is once the cruise control or radar cruise control is active, I can use this to speed up and to slow down. But then I can take this button and I can push, and this allows me to set the distance that it maintains between me and the vehicle in front of me. I'm going to press this, and you see those 3 blocks, white blocks right there? And so that reduces the blocks every time I push it, or if I push it one more time, it increases the blocks. So that is a visual representation of how far it's going to maintain the distance when I'm using radar cruise control. This right here is lane keep, and so I can see that it pops up 2 lane lines right there. And so now if I were driving, that's going to show me how well I'm staying inside of my lane, and it's actually going to turn it or nudge the wheel left and right in order to keep me in my lane keep assist. Right here is your information keypad, so I can push up, and you can see over here in the multi-information display, it pops up oil life, tire pressure, distance, and that's trip A, or trip B, trip A. And then I can hold reset to change the speed units and whatnot. Let's take a look at the center multi-information display. What you see in this section here is only climate. When you press home, you can see that this home screen comes up, but you also have other screens. Note these other screens don't have anything on them right now, but you can see you have the ability to have several pages, but right now we're only looking at this screen. You can see on the top left that it says phone. No phone is connected right now, so it's going to ask me, do you want to connect one? No, not at this time. No thanks. Back to home. You can see info here, and trip info, voice info, clock and wallpaper settings. And so I can go back to home. Then there's audio. I'm not playing anything on the audio system right now, but you can see all of these different selections. Then Honda Link, that is a subscription-based service, smartphone connection, and then settings. Settings is actually where I'm going to recommend that you spend some time, because this actually basically shows you all of the different functions that you're going to use probably the most. Right now we're looking straight down onto the center console, and you can see over on the right side you have 2 cup holders, but on the left side you have your gear shifters. There have been mixed reviews about this, but in driving it, I actually kind of am starting to like it. I like the fact that there's nothing on the dash, a bar or a gear switch lever that you have to pull down. I do think that it would take some getting used to if you're not a regular Honda driver. If you're getting into one of these things for the first time and this is the first experience that you've had with it, you have park here up front. Reverse is actually a button that's right here, and you press here, neutral, and then drive. So drive is going to be right here. So whenever you get in, you want to go into reverse, push, then you want to drive, push. Actually, it's simple. This button is Honda's version of a terrain management system, and it's called Intelligent Traction Management. And then this is the automatic feature that allows you to activate and deactivate the engine shutoff feature. So whenever you come to a complete stop, the engine can cut off. You can actually activate and deactivate that feature right there. I'm going to show you how to use this gear switch lever. All right, right now we're in park. So the emergency brake is on, we're in park, my seatbelt is buckled. I'm going to deactivate the e-brake. Check out my amazing fall socks. Don't you just love those? Those are just beautiful. So I'm going to deactivate the brake here, push and release. So I can go reverse, and now I should be able to get it nice and lined up. And all I have to do is focus on getting the dynamic grid lines lined up with the lines on the parking lot and not hitting that bush. And then I can just put it in park, and that's it. When I'm ready to put it in drive, when I want to go, all I need to do is hit that button there. Okay, so basically the feel of the cabin on the inside of the Honda Ridgeline honestly is pretty basic. But I don't mean that as a knock to the Ridgeline. It's basic, but it's super functional. It's easy to understand, and everything is where it's supposed to be. It's easy to drive, although I do have to admit, the gear shifter, the way that works, does take some getting used to, but what's crazy about that is that it's actually a little more simple than a regular gear shifter. Anyways, you'll see if you ever get to drive one of these things. So without further ado, let's take it for a drive. I'm going to reach down here and I'm going to push the drive button. One of the things that I did notice also about the drive of the Honda Ridgeline is the fact that it feels like it's an SUV. It doesn't feel like a truck. You know, whenever you go over a rough patch of road or a pothole in a truck, you can feel the truck bed wobble. But in this one, you don't really feel the truck bed shake at all. It's just like a simple little ride in an SUV. It's actually kind of nice. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for our look at the 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport all-wheel drive. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. Again, I would like to say a huge thank you to Impex Auto Sales in Greensboro, North Carolina for the opportunity to film this beautiful 2021 Honda Ridgeline. Why don't you stop by their website on the worldwide internet machine? I'll be sure to leave a link for their website in the description box below. But remember, the most important thing of all, have a wonderful day, everybody.